Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be bringing you the 2023 annual fire alarm collection video, so let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, I've gone ahead and taken out every single fire alarm device I own. You're looking at my entire collection right now, with the exception of a few devices that are currently on my system, but you will see those in the Christmas fire alarm system test video. But for the most part, we have basically everything I own. So you can get a look here. Every single year now, for a couple years, I've been doing a collection video in December, so I'm happy to be continuing that tradition today. But let's go ahead and get started at the top. Over here, we have an assortment of different system sensor SpectrAlert classics. Each of these is slightly different. These are all different candela ratings. So this is a 15 candela model, 30, 15, 75, 75, 110, and then a multi-candela unit. We then have a couple strobes. Again, these are all different candela ratings. This is a footprint mount classic strobe. It's pretty neat. This one just has a single gang mounting bracket and it's 75 candela. We have another multi-candela model. We have a white strobe. We have a white multi-candela horn strobe. We have several advances. This is a P2R. This is a P2RK. There's a P4R and then an SR strobe. We have an MHW mini horn. We have a PC2W ceiling mount horn strobe. We have a ceiling speaker strobe. I believe it's SPSCW. Then we have a low frequency sounder strobe, a SW strobe, a P2W horn strobe, a ceiling mount speaker, a ceiling mount strobe. We have a couple classics here. We have a white ceiling mount classic horn strobe and a strobe. We have an L series ceiling strobe. We have a horn strobe, classic ceiling horn strobe here in red. And then we have a couple L series. We have a white ceiling horn strobe and a white ceiling strobe. Then we have a wall horn strobe and then a wall low frequency sounder. Continuing into the next row, we have another classic horn strobe. This is a multi-candela model, but it was just new in box, which is why I kept it. We have a new strobe light. We have a system sensor SpectrAlert classic speaker strobe. We have a PC2R, which is a wall or ceiling mounted advanced horn strobe. We have a classic speaker strobe, a couple of mass strobes. One is ceiling mounted and the other one is wall, so that's pretty neat. We have a mass speaker and then a mass speaker strobe right here, pretty neat. We have a couple mass horn strobes. We have a wall mounted frosted horn strobe and then a ADA horn strobe. We have another speaker. These all have trim plates, which is nice. This is a footprint classic. It's just like the other one I showed, except it's a horn strobe. And then we have one of these small mass mini horn strobes. Then we have a couple E70 speaker strobes. This one's 110 candela. This one is 15 candela. And the other one is, I believe, 30 candela. This is a vandal resistant LSM or SLM speaker strobe. We have a newer weatherproof speaker strobe here. We have a Wheelock E50 speaker strobe. This is a nice mass notification one with an amber strobe. Then we have one of these LED, quote unquote, low frequency sounders. It's not actually LED because it's a sounder only. We have a Wheelock CH70. We have a bilingual Wheelock CNS. We have an LED speaker strobe. This one is also new in box. We have a Wheelock EHS EL1, I believe. We have a Wheelock RSS. This is the same as this one, except with a frosted strobe. The model is EHS DL1. This is a LED strobe. The lens is yellow, but it still has the fire lettering, which is neat. We have a Wheelock E90 and then an MIZ mini horn, a ceiling speaker, and then this little Wheelock strobe. Continuing to the next row, we have a Gamewell rebranded Wheelock NS, a couple other RSS strobes. One is fixed candela, and then the white one is multi-candela. Then we have a Wheelock outdoor RSS. I think it's just RSSP, yeah. Then we have another Gamewell rebranded NS. We have a couple Wheelock MTs. We have a WMT or MTWM. This is a multi-tone horn strobe. I believe it's weatherproof. We have a Wheelock MT-24 SLM, which is a syncable MT horn strobe. Then we have a Wheelock MT-24-LS. It has a slightly different strobe reflector. We have a Wheelock MT- or Yeah, it's MTWP. That one's a weatherproof one. Then we have another one. This one's basically that one, except it has a slightly different logo on the bottom. This is a Wheelock HS4, so it's not technically an MT. It's basically a 4-wire AS. We have a ceiling mount MT. This is a MT-24 LSM or something like that. It's basically just a white ceiling mount MT. We have a Honeywell rebranded Wheelock strobe over here. We have a Wheelock MIZ mini horn strobe with a LSM strobe attached. Then we have this little remote strobe. I'm not sure of the model, but I know it's LSM of some type. Then we have a ceiling mount Wheelock NS. We have a Wheelock ZNS. This particular one is a horn strobe. You might not be able to see it. We have a Wheelock HSR horn strobe. We have a Wheelock remote strobe over here. And then we have an agent release version of the Exceeder strobe. We have a couple mass notification devices here. We have a yellow amber RSS strobe. Then we have an LED strobe light. Over here we have a Wheelock AS-24 MCW. There's actually two of them. The one over here is actually the first device I ever owned, so fun fact there. Then we have this is a slightly older Wheelock AS. It's still horizontal strobe. And then we have one with the vertical strobe. Then we have one of these strobes. It's basically like one of those MTs, except it's a remote strobe. We have a vertical RSS. This is a Wheelock AS ceiling mount horn strobe. We have a 34T. We have several different versions of the 7002T. We have one that has a shiny grill or shiny horn in the back. We have one with a matte black horn, and then we have a couple. This one's rebranded by Pyrotronics, which is neat. Then we have a Wheelock 7002 and then a Wheelock 34-24. This is a Wheelock V7001. This is a pretty cool device. This is basically a flush mount 7002T. This was actually the first device I got this year, so that's cool. We have one of these vandal resistant speaker strobes. This one's pretty cool because it has fire lettering on the top too. This right here is a frosted Wheelock speaker strobe. This is a slightly older version of that. This is a Bell strobe with a frosted strobe, and then this one has a Bell that's rebranded by Ansel, as well as some faded fire lettering, but it does work. This right here is a Fenwal rebranded, I believe, Wheelock MT. This is also a MTWP, as you can see. We have a Wheelock pole station. This is a rebranded pole station that is originally manufactured by Sigcom. And then we have a Wheelock NS. This was my second horn strobe ever. Now moving on to Simplex. We have several Simplex T-bars. I won't pull all of them because some of them have glass, but this is a double action conventional pole station or addressable pole station. This is a this is also addressable. This is another addressable version. This one's pretty new right here. It's got the little LED on it. This one, I believe, is the conventional one. Yeah, this one's conventional. This right here is the the single action version of this one. This was my first Simplex pole station. This one was originally addressable, but I ripped that module off, so still pulls fine. This one right here is also addressable. This one right here is, I believe, conventional. Yeah, this is conventional. This one has a trim plate on it, which is pretty neat, but this one is conventional. This one is supposed to have glass in it, but it doesn't because I'm missing the little clip, but it does function properly. Then we have some older pole stations. This is a Simplex 4251-20. This is a Simplex 4251-21. These are Simplex 4251-30s. They are break glass pole stations, so I'm not going to go ahead and break the glass, but you can see they just pull like anything else, except you have to break the glass first. And I didn't pull this one. This right here is a Simplex True Alert. This one is conventional and free run. This one right here, these two are both Smart Sync. These two are Smart Sync strobes. This is a free run horn. This is a free run horn strobe. This is a white free run horn strobe. This is a Simplex Chevron. This is a brand new in box simplex flush mount horn. This is actually a pretty cool possession of mine. I usually keep my new stuff in the box. Actually, a lot of the stuff here is actually new, but I tend to keep them in the boxes to prevent dust and things like that, but I didn't want to unwrap this one. This right here is a bell. It's a 24-volt bell. It's pretty cool. We have one of these single gang strobes. We have a bunch of 4904 strobes. These two are horizontal, and then we have two vertical strobes. Going down to the next row, we have this ceiling mount strobe, which is pretty neat. We have a Simplex 2904 light. We have this really cool Simplex coated pull station. I don't know if I can pull it with one hand, but yeah, there you go. It pulls a lot farther than that, but it is pretty difficult to pull all the way down like this. This is a Simplex chime right here. This one is a 6-volt AC chime, so it doesn't work well on my system. We have this is a remote horn on one of these ceiling strobe plates, which is really nice. This is a remote speaker right here. This is a 4903 speaker. Over here we have a Simplex 4903 9220. This is probably my favorite device in my collection because this is how my collection started. So I'm really happy that I got one of these things this year. Over here, we have a couple of Simplex 4903s. These are both electronic, and they're under these cages, which is neat. They have 30 candela strobes. I believe the models are 4903, 9237. We have a couple mechanical horn strobes, 9219s. And then this one, yeah, that's also a 9219. This one is cool. This one was sent to me by Asbestos Breakfast. But this one has a early SmartSync strobe, so it only flashes when power is disconnected, which is neat. Then this right here, I believe, is another 9219, or no, this one's a 15 candela electronic horn strobe, so 9236. We have a Simplex 4051 in this nice color. Then we have an AC horn with a flush mount plate. This one's also pretty neat. We have a Simplex 4050 with a dual projector horn on it, which is neat. We have a strobe plate over here, and then it also has a 4051 horn on it. Then we have a Firelight rebranded 4051 on a ceiling strobe plate. We have a Simplex 2901 9838 on a ceiling mount strobe plate. This is a pretty nice combination. We have a life alarm speaker on a strobe plate over here. And then we have another 9838. This one has a silver horn in the back, which is cool, but it does have the same strobe plate. Then we have another 9838 on a sideways version of these strobe plates, which is cool. We have a Simplex ceiling mount speaker. Then we have a ceiling mount speaker strobe. This is a SmartSync unit, but it is actually convertible to, or has a free run dip switch on it, which is neat. This right here is a Simplex True Alert speaker strobe in white. It has a nice back. I don't know if it's not called a back box. I forget. Oh, it's a skirt. Yeah. Then we have this. This is a new True Alert speaker strobe. I actually took it out of the box for this video. And then we have another one. These two are identical. One is just used. Down here we have the 2903 collection. All of these are free run. So we have this. This is a dual bulb strobe plate, which is pretty neat. Then these are both strobes with 2901 9833 horns on them. Really neat. We have this right here. This is a light plate with a horn behind it. Pretty nice. We have this one. This was my first 2903, and it has this old Simplex speaker on it, but this one's really neat, and it's a surface mountable unit. We have this one right here. This one has a 9838 behind it, and it is a light plate, I believe. No, it's an early strobe plate. Then we have this one right here. This is a speaker strobe. It's a life alarm. It's a 2902 9739, I believe. We have this. Moving on to FCI. We have an FCI rebranded Vibratone horn. We have a Fast, which is basically early EST, but it is a rebranded pull station. Sorry, I can't keep the camera very still. It pulls out like this. Then we have an FCI MS6, which is the same as this. This is the original one. This right here is the original or older version of the MS6, so it's first generation. You can tell by the color and the thicker font. We have a Fenwal rebranded first generation MS2. So this pulls like this. We have a FCI MS2. We have an MFA branded MS2. And then we have a slightly different MS2. This one has the newer font, but it has a different FCI logo compared to this one. So we'll go ahead and pull that. We have a Federal Signal Vibratone horn over here. We have a Gamewell rebranded light. This one is a light, not a strobe. We have a another Federal Signal Vibratone horn strobe. This one's slightly different because both the horn and strobe are wired together, so it's a 2-wire device. Then we have this ADT electric horn strobe. Again, it's the same thing as these. It's just rebranded ADT, and it says Halon on it. Then we have this FI Quench Halon horn strobe. Again, these two are basically the same, just rebranded by different companies. We have 2 of these Faraday horn strobes. These both have these magnifying strobes, which is really nice. We have the same thing, except this one is a flush mount version, which is cool. We have an FOS remote horn. This one's basically like that Simplex one right there. I think the manufacturer is exactly the same too, except it just has the FOS branding on it. We have an FOS frosted horn strobe, which is neat. It's basically that one, but with a strobe on it. We have a couple of these FCI strobe with sounders. So this one has a chime behind it, and then this one has the multi-tone horn. This is a Cerberus Pyrotronics strobe. Then we have an IBM Chevron. This one is one that I actually restored myself. This one was in really bad condition, but it does work now, and it has a Mercury switch behind it. Sorry. We have 2 chevrons. This one is also a Faraday chevron, except it's the Faraday logo peeled off, but it does pull. It's not locked down, so it won't stay down. But this one right here is a better version. It's new. There you go. We have a couple Faraday pull stations right here. This one is a SIGCOM rebrand, and then this one's RSG. They both pull the same way. Pretty neat. We have a Federal Signal pull station. This is a 4050-001T. Pulls down like that. We have a brand new Space Age AV32 with a Vibratone horn behind it. This particular strobe plate I actually got brand new, so that's cool. I took it out of the box for this video. Then we have a similar version. This one is has a frosted strobe. It also does have a Vibratone behind it, and also this one, the strobe was broken, so I have one of these LED Space Age lights behind it, which is pretty neat. It's an LED light. Then we have one of these Space Age VA4 strobe plates with a speaker on it. We have a second version. This one right here is a little newer, so you can see the strobe box is a little smaller, but this one I also took out of the box for this video. Going down to the next row, we have this. This is a Space Age light. This one again also has the LED strobe behind it, which is neat. This is an FOS remote strobe, very similar to those ones with the magnifier, except a remote strobe, of course. We have a couple sounders here. This is a FOS remote horn, and then this is an FOS chime. This is a Space Age HA24 horn, which is pretty neat. It's in black for some reason. This one is a Space Age remote light. This is a red Space Age remote light. This is a Faraday pull station. This one's pretty rare. Pull it down like this. It's very difficult to do with one hand. This one right here is a FOS horn strobe. This one is 120 volts DC or AC, so I really can't use it on my system, but it does look cool. This right here is a Faraday rebrand of a 4050, which is pretty cool. I actually don't know if it's a rebrand. I think Faraday might be the original manufacturer. Not entirely sure. We have a Faraday system trouble thing. This is kind of an old annunciator. I got this one new. I don't really have a use for it, but it is kind of interesting. We have this. This is a first generation RMS-1T. You lift this right here and then you pull it down. It's pretty cool. It's actually spring loaded. It's like a very high quality Simplex T-bar. We have a couch chevron right here. We have a RSG T-bar. This one right here actually originally had the knob that I have on this pull station, but I took it off. This one originally didn't even have the lift part. I actually put that on myself, but this pull station right here is pretty cool. This is a Grinnell T-bar. You lift and pull, so same thing with this one. You just pull down. This is a strobe plate. It's white. It's pretty cool. We have several of these. These are all pretty interesting. If you can see, they actually have some magnification on the lens, which is interesting, but these are both the same horn strobe. They're mechanical Siemens horn strobes. This one's the same thing except weatherproof, and it has a slightly different font. We have a couple of these ceiling mount UMMT horn strobes in white. Both of these are new. I took them out of the box. We have a couple of these. These are Siemens something. Let me see. UMHU, I believe, but these are the white version of this horn strobe right here. This right here is a UMMT, I believe. It has the fire lettering on the side though, which is neat. This one came from someone else. I actually had to solder wires onto this because the terminals were missing, but it works fine. We have a couple strobes. One's white, one's red. There's just these strobe versions of all of these. And then we have a speaker strobe finally, which is cool. Now we have all of these Siemens pole stations. So this is the second newest. This is one that does say Siemens on it. It's obviously a variant of these older ones, but you pull on it like that. We have a French version here, just pull like that. This is a dual action Cerberus Pyrotronics version, so you pull down like that. These pole stations are not locked, so they don't stay down, but that's how you pull it. This one is a single action version of this. This is a Pyrotronics agent release pole station. It actually says Halon on it, which is neat. This is one of the newer Siemens pole stations. So you pull on it like this and the whole front just comes down. We have this. This right here is a Siemens pole station. The whole front comes down when you pull on these. So like that. This one pulls the exact same way. This particular one, both of these are very similar. They just have different fonts, but they are both conventional Honeywell pole stations. So you just pull like this. And then you can see that they're activated. Going down, we have a couple other Honeywell pole stations. This one is a newer Honeywell pole station with a Allen reset. This is an Ademco pole station. This one right here is a fully metal version of this one and it has a key lock. Pull like that. This is an Ademco pole station. It has this little clay disc, so if I pull it, it's permanently activated. This is a Bosch pole station. We have a couple Mercom pole stations. This one has a screwdriver reset, but you pull out, and it's also in French too. Then we have a key lock version. This one takes a Simplex B key for whatever reason. This is a Atlas sound oiler speaker. I'm not really sure what brand to put that with, so we're kind of getting into the misfit category here. We have an Ames security pole station. This is a key operated pole station. This right here is a really cool one. This is a National Time and Signal 620M or something like that, but you pull it like this and the switch is supposed to go down. I'll show you the inside. It has a model. This is a 620M. The way this works is this switch is spring loaded. So when the pole station is closed, normally it would do that and then that switch will go down and you can't push it up. That was a pretty bad explanation, but I might do a video on it in the future. This right here is a Potter bell. It's a 20 or 12 volt DC bell. We have a couple of these ESL pole stations. This one's rebranded by ADT. This one's ESL and ESL. We have this Fenwal fire suppression system release pole station. Then we have a Fenwal rebranded agent release horn strobe. Now we're getting to Firelight. We have just a couple BG12s. Each of these is slightly different, so I'll go over them. This is a nice and standard Firelight BG12L. This is probably my favorite version. This right here is a Firelight BG12 LX. This is a Firelight BG12 with the older logo and the hex key lock. This is a Firelight BG12 with the newer logo and the key lock. This one was my first pole station, as you can see. This right here is a Firelight BG12L with the newer lock. This is a Firelight BG12 SL, which is a single action key lock version. This right here is a Notifier NBG12L. This right here is the agent release version. This right here is a Silent Night PS-DA, which is the same thing as everything else except rebranded by Silent Night. This right here is a Honeywell Gamewell FCI version. You can see that both of these are the same pole station, same model, except one's older. So this was back in the day when FCI was the bigger brand here, and then Honeywell bought them out, and the Honeywell logo has slowly been getting bigger. I believe the newer ones don't even say Gamewell FCI. They just say Honeywell on them, but same thing. This is a ADT variant. This one I found in the dumpster, and it's a PDI version. This right here is the ADT version. It's the exact same thing, except slightly newer. We have a Firelight BG8 pull station. We have a Notifier BNG1 in red, pretty rare. We have another one. This is a BNG1 in silver. These are pretty difficult to pull, so bear with me. We have a Spectronics rebrand of a Notifier BNG1, so I think I got to pull it from the backside, but you basically just pull out like that. We have a Notifier version, so this one, again, you have to pull out, but it is difficult because the spring on the inside is a lot tougher than the little clips on these. Yeah, this one's not going to pull. We have a Notifier BG, I'm not really sure. It's not a BG10L, it's a addressable version. I think it's like 101 BGXL or something. That's definitely not correct, but you just pull down like this. We have a Notifier BG10 and BG10. This is a Firelight BG10. These are literally the same pull station, just with different brandings. This is a Firelight BG12 or BG10. This was originally a LX pull station, but I resoldered wires on it, so now it's conventional. This right here is a Johnson Controls. Again, this one was also originally addressable, but I kind of soldered my own wires on. This is a Halon release pull station, pretty neat. This right here is a, what is it? IBM pull station. This one is really cool. I think this was mounted outside, but you can see how faded it is. So you pull this part down. There's supposed to be a piece of glass here, which releases when you break it. Yeah, it does this sometimes. This one's kind of funky. Going down to EST, we have a couple speaker strobes. This one is a ceiling mount speaker strobe. It's the same one I use in my CO system. We have this one. This one does not have an amber strobe. It just has a clear one, and I haven't taken off the cover yet. This one does have an amber strobe. It was on my CO system. We have a couple Genesis speaker strobes and speakers. Most of mine are actually on the system right now, so they're not going to be in the video, but I have roughly 4 more of these and a ceiling mount, but you'll see those later. We have a couple pre-integrity speaker or horn strobes. These are really nice. We have a 15 candela enhanced strobe with emergency font. We have this one. This is a 15 candela enhanced integrity strobe. We have a 110 candela unenhanced strobe. We have a couple of mini horn strobes. This one is unenhanced. This one is enhanced. We have a couple speaker strobes here. So this is a white integrity speaker strobe. This is a horn strobe, actually, I believe. Yeah, this one's a horn strobe. This is a 110 candela high fidelity speaker strobe. This is a 1575 candela high fidelity speaker strobe. This is a horn strobe here with a 1575 candela strobe. This is a horn strobe with a 15 candela strobe. Actually, no, this is a speaker strobe. And then this is the horn strobe with a 15 candela strobe. This is a CPG Products horn strobe. I'm not really sure where that's supposed to go, so I just put it here. We have a Gamewell Sentry. This one's brand new in the box. You can see how shiny it is, but it's addressable. This one's got a glass rod, but it's a conventional pull station. This is a Gamewell Sentry with the nifty dual action piece, so you just pull it like that. And then we have a French version. This one I'm not going to pull because it's got a glass rod. We have a Gamewell style of pull station here. You just pull that one all the way down like that. It's pretty neat. We have a Firelight BG5. I forgot to put this one up there, so that's why it's here. But you just pull this one all the way down like this. It's really difficult, actually, because it's got this little stick in there, but you would just pull it like a regular T-bar. This is a Notifier LNG1R. You pull out like that. Then we have this. This is a Cerberus Pyrotronics strobe plate. I forgot to mention it. We have a Silent Night pull station here. This one is like a BG8. We have a couple BG6s. Pull down like that. Pretty neat. We have a Kidde B5. Lift this part and then you pull that down. We have a Amsico Selecta strobe. This is not a horn strobe, it's just a strobe. Then we have a Hochiki pull station. This one is an RSG pull station. This one is actually really, really new. It's only 1 year old right now. This one was made in November 2022, so just pull like that. Glad to see RSG is still making the same quality products. This one right here is, actually this one does say made in USA. Yeah, look at that. Good on you, RSG. They're still making these pull stations in the USA. Really nice. So these are Gentex Commanders. This is a white strobe. This is a Commander 1 strobe. National Time branded strobe. This is a red strobe. This is a white ceiling horn strobe. White ceiling horn strobe rebranded by Hochiki. Red ceiling horn strobe rebranded by Hochiki. This is a white Commander 1 horn strobe. Red Commander 1 horn strobe. This is a custom yellow Commander. This one was sent to me by Hesperus Breakfast. This one right here is a horn strobe rebranded by Hochiki. Horn strobe, just Gentex. Now, these are some other Edwards things that were not mentioned. So we have this. This is a bilingual Edwards pull station. Really cool. You can see. This one is the same thing except in English. This one actually I got brand new. I took it out of the box for this video, and it's very difficult to pull, but there you go. Then we have this. This one's also new, and I took it out of the box for the video, but you pull it out, and it's going to act like a coated pull station, as you can see. Very neat. We have this. This is a generator emergency stop 270 SPO. We have this one. This one actually has a plastic lever. It's very rare. I have only seen that one time. We have a local alarm 270 SPO. This is kind of a classic right here. You can see it's got a nice screw. This is an AIP 270 SPO. This is a couple of these really vintage Canadian pull stations. Just pull out like that. We have a Keda 270 SPO. We have an Edwards 270 SPO. We have this one right here. This is a bilingual version with the dual action piece. Then we have this local alarm one. This one is not branded by anybody. Then we have a couple of these SIGA 270 SPO style or SIGA 278 style pull stations. Again, I have roughly 4 of these that are currently on the system, as you can see, but we have a couple here. So this is an ADT rebrand. This is a single action version. This is an EST SIGA 278. This is an Edwards dual action conventional pull station with this key lock or screw lock. We have this. This is a remote horn version of these two. And then we have a couple of these 892, I believe, but these are frosted horn strobes. We have a couple Genesises. So we have this. This is a ceiling Genesis horn strobe, white wall mount Genesis horn, wall horn strobe, wall horn strobe, wall horn strobe, wall horn strobe without fire lettering, wall horn strobe that has been quite damaged. Oh yeah, that's this one right here. Finally, in the last row, we have a Amsico horn strobe. This one is a BZ54SL. We have this Oth bell. I actually found this one at the junkyard. This is a bunch of generic stuff. So we have this fire detector activated thing. We have this generic horn strobe. This one's not generic, but this is a Chematron Fire Systems suppression release toggle switch. Pretty neat. We have this old siren horn thing. We have these two, which are both knockoff Spectre alerts. We have a 24-volt alarm bell. We have a call point here. We have another call point here. We have this one. I'm not going to break the glass, though. This one is broken. We have a couple of these. These are really cool. These are micro strobes, so you find these on the outside of buildings, at least in my state, and they flash. They are required because when the fire alarm goes off, it allows the fire department to locate which building. They basically do the same thing as any outdoor notification appliance. This is a 120-volt version. This is a Amsico bell. This one's 12 volts. This is another 270 SPO. I forgot to mention this was one of the OG devices. This is a Gamewell vid alarm. Pretty neat. Then we have a couple devices from the UK. This is an Eaton call point. This is a KIC call point. This is a KIC call point with the shield on it. Both of the, or all of these I bought brand new from the UK. This is a Wheelock pull station. It's supposed to have glass like this, but you just pull it to break the glass. So you pull it like that and release that button. You have an AIM security pull station or brake station. This is a Gentex horn strobe, mini horn strobe in white. Then we have a Gentex strobe light. This is a one with no reflector, one of the older ones. We have, this is the same one as this one, except I believe in a different candela rating. We have a white Gentex SHG, pretty rare. I took it out of the box for this video. A couple of GMSs. These are different candela ratings, I believe, but pretty nifty. We have, oh yeah, no, the strobes are different. Then we have a GOS. This is pretty cool. Very interesting device. And then we have a couple of SHGs. This one is has a bigger back. This one is missing the cover, but they both work. And then finally, we have 3 Gentex speaker strobes. We have this wall one that's rebranded by Hochiki. Then we have this one here. This is considered a floor mount as a joke. There's no such thing as an actual floor mount, but it is a really interestingly designed unit. And then we have a ceiling mount Hochiki speaker strobe. That was a doozy. So that's the entire collection, as you can see. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. This is honestly probably going to be one of the last collection videos I make because right now I'm a junior in high school and I'll only be home for like 1 more year. So this will probably be the second to last one after I leave for college or whatever. Not really sure if I'll have the time to come home and make an elaborate collection video like this, but you guys enjoy them, so I still make them. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's definitely really interesting, kind of surreal to take everything out once a year, just see the vast sea of fire alarm devices that I've amassed over the years. It's really crazy to think that, like, just, I don't know how many years ago, I'm 16 now, and it's probably just a few years ago, I just got that one AS over there, and if little me in the future just saw all of these on the floor, I'd probably be pretty amazed, but it is cool to see how far it's come. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Farewell.